PCM.
Yeah, you know, I was talking about the resolution of noise shapers, and that the resolution of a noise shaper itself makes a big difference to the sound quality. So with Hugo, we're about 1,000 times better than traditional high-end performance noise shapers. With DSD, it's about 10,000 times more resolving power than a DSD noise shaper, because a DSD is severely limited because it's only one bit and because it's only running at 64 times FS. Whereas the noise shaper that I employ, they're 5 bits and it's running 104 megahertz. And one of the curious things about noise shapers is the way you get the perception of depth, how far away an instrument sounds. So, for example, if you've got an organ in a cathedral, if you record it in a big cathedral, it should sound like it's 200 feet away. But in a normal hi-fi, it'll sound like it's just a few feet away, and it will just sound echoey. It won't give you the indication of depth. So one of the things I was doing with Dave on this noise shaper was to improve the perception of depth. And I was improving the noise shaper's resolving power. And originally I started off at about 200 dBs worth of resolving power, and that's kind of Hugo standards. And then went to 220 and it sounded better in depth, and I went to 240 and it sounded better in depth, and I went to 260 and it sounded better, and I kept on making the improvements. And now I'm at 350 dB, which is 48-bit accurate, and so it will reproduce a 48-bit delivered signal in the digital domain with complete accuracy. The curious thing is that level of performance was still audible. And the difficulty with DSD is you're stuck with 120 dBs worth of performance, whereas I'm hearing things at 350 dB. So that problem with DSD means that it never encodes the information that's required to give you the perception of depth. And what I hear with DSD is that it sounds very nice, but it lacks transparency. It lacks the ability to perceive soundstage depth. The timing accuracy isn't as good as PCM with WTA filter. Timing accuracy with DSD is better than a regular non-WTA filter. So DSD is very attractive when you're using a standard DAC. But when you're using a WTA filter, you can reconstruct the timing to a much better accuracy with PCM than you can with DSD, because DSD itself has got timing problems. So the trouble with DSD is that it is format limited as a medium. You can't make any more improvements because you've already lost the information, you've already lost the timing information, you can't recover that information. Whereas with PCM, it's theoretically you can completely recover all the timing information, and you can recover all the low-level details as well perfectly, as long as the DAC is capable of doing that. So the problem with PCM is not format limited, it's engineering limited. And if it's engineering limited, it means I can improve it. The problem with DSD is it's format limited. Now the engineering makes a difference to the sound quality, but you're still limited eventually by the format. With PCM there is no limit, and I suspect that 16-bit 44.1 as a performance has got a lot further way to go. I know for certain it's got a lot further way to go. Whereas DSD, you're stuck because you've already lost the information.
So does it mean that high res, the way to go is PCM at high sampling rates?
Yes, there's some benefit in going for higher sampling rates, but again, the beauty of Hugo is that it sounds like a high sample rate with 44.1 because you can recover the timing. So if you put more emphasis on the WTA filter and have bigger tap length filters, then it makes less of a difference between high rate recording and 44.1 standard Redbook CDs. That's the benefit of long tap length filters. So 44.1 16-bit is capable of almost perfect sound, but it's just limited by the technology of converting it to analog. So if we get that right, we can get much better sound quality from Redbook.
So are you saying that the industry is chasing something that cannot be achieved then?
Yeah, but the benefit of it is that it means that the interpolation filter has to be complicated, and that means a complex DAC. Whereas if you just put in 192 kilohertz recording into a cheap DAC, you're going to get much better sound quality. So the benefit of high res is that you get better sound quality for ordinary DACs. You don't have to spend a lot of money on your processing to recover the timing information. So that's the benefit of high res.
I see. So
And a high res will always sound better than low res. It's just the margin between the two differences. What you get with Hugo is you get the sound quality of high res all the time, even though it's only well recorded 44.1, because you've spent all the effort on the FPGA to do the digital processing.
Okay, thank you.